All right, everyone. Welcome to another amazing episode, Thursday night episode of the DM and Friends. And I am super stoked to have the one and only Anna Meyer on the show again with us. I love having you on here. I love nerding out with you on Greyhawk. Thank you again for coming on. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me. This is fun. Yeah.
You love it, don't you?
Yeah, this is great.
We were talking about a bunch of stuff before we even went live, and I looked over like, oh crap, it's time to go live.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again for coming on. How things been?
Oh, it's
since
good.
we last talked.
I've been working. I've had two. Oh, thank you, Mr. Rourke. Yeah. I've had two big commissions that have kind of collided. The MELF project and a project for Gamehole Publishing. The MELF project is kind of wrapping up, hopefully, my part, and the Gamehole Publishing project is ramping up. So I needed to get that going, so to speak. And therefore, my Patreon and Greyhawk work for my patrons and fans and stuff and for my own campaign have kind of got stalled over the past couple of months. But now I'm working really hard for like 2-3 weeks. I work really, really hard on catching up. The problem is that what I'm working on right now, I want to keep working another little bit. So when I show it, it could be really cool. So I can really show it's the new generation of Greyhawk maps, because I've mapped it once. Now I'm mapping it again. And that's another 20-year project.
And those are the ones you were talking about that are very detailed. I think down to the 3 mile mark. What is it down?
The old one has roughly a pixel every mile or two. Every couple of miles is a pixel on the old one. The new one is 1 pixel per 5 feet.
Wow, yeah, and I remember we were kind of going over some of that the last time you were here.
Full 3D, not only 2D. It's not only
you
can see it from various different. So it's enough to see individual trees, and I used to jokingly call it the porta potty scale, because you can roughly, each pixel is a porta potty, roughly. Yeah.
Wow, that's nuts. Yeah. So, and you said that project's going to be, you're going to be
a 20-year project. Yeah. I don't think I will be happy if I can finish that before I die, but I'm going to.
Wow, this is better. Yeah.
And
let me go to the. Oh, go ahead. So what were you going to say? I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm just over 60, so that means that if I'm lucky, I can manage that before I die.
Oh man, you better keep it up for sure.
Technology is on my side too, so I never thought I would be able to publish it last time, and finish it.
So I'm gonna go to the comments, and I am gonna let everyone know that if you guys have any let me go to the comments real quick and just say hi to everybody. Jimmyson was the first one here. He says, "Greetings, my felly, my sophisticates." I don't know how you pronounce that. Sophisticates. I'm thinking anyways. Sophisticates. Valmar Cleaver, evening all. Freezer is here. All right, Mr. Rourke. Mr. Rourke says, welcome back. No one of consequence is here. Good to see you, man. Valmar Cleaver says, hi, cartographer extraordinaire Anna. Yes. Mark the Shark is here. Let me see. I'm gonna have a hard time pronouncing this, but Cinemal.
Yes, hello. He's one of my awesome patrons, and
awesome! And thanks for being here.
Yeah, Elven Areas is one of the stuff I'm really keen on doing. And my next campaign after my Shieldlands campaign, I plan to have as an Elven campaign. Yeah. That's
got it. Okay, well, welcome to the DM and Friends, and thanks for following Anna over here. That's really cool. Thank you so much. I love seeing new faces, so that's really cool. And he says Myers Hawk forever, 90+ years.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, you're right. Okay, now I remember where that's from, Unison. Okay, I'm horrible with and then I get on the spot and then maybe I get a little tongue tied. But yes, okay, from Tombstone. Yes. Well, thanks for being here, Unison. Hardy Cross MP, hello. RX Mooten, welcome. Hell from the deep south, yes. Hello from the deep south, maybe. Don't forget to like and subscribe is what Mr. Rourke says. Yeah, you guys, if you can, everybody that's on right now, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna pick Anna's brain tonight. I got some topics for her that I'd love to we talk about and bring up some maps and just kind of nerd out. You know, hopefully, hopefully we'll talk about some things that if you guys want to, please put questions in there for us in the chat, and I will hopefully get to them if I don't squirrel on conversation. So yeah, please put any kind of question in there for Anna and myself if you so choose. Yes, RX Moon. I knew that's what you were saying was hello from the deep south. Advanced Fantasy Games, evening, all dodging tornadoes in Illinois. Holy crap! Yes, that's DM Greg. He's such a good dude, and wow, I guess you guys have tornado
out of your backyard and front yard and all of that. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you're in LA, so there's no tornadoes there. There's other things like earthquakes and fires, and
exactly. I'm in the very southeast edge of the LA area, so to speak. So we have the Cleveland National Forest, and so if you go north and west, then it's the LA area, so to speak. And you go east, you go out towards the desert and wilderness and stuff. So it's awesome. I have a wilderness outside the door and big city 10 minutes away.
I love it. That's one thing about California. You get a lot of everything. Stephen Kennedy, good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Valmar Cleaver says he already hit the like button. Awesome. Well, thank you. Everybody hit that like button tonight. That'd be really cool if you guys can do that. And welcome everybody who's here. Jimison says, I've loved Anna's maps for many, many years. Yeah, we all have. I definitely, I've used them in my campaign. I've, nerded out over them for years.
I'm low. Let's see if you can boost me a bit or something. Hang on a second here. Yeah.
You mean volume?
I don't know. It just I'm trying to yell into my microphone.
Yeah, let me see if I can do something with your volume. You are kind of on the lower side. I noticed that a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead and talk.
Okay, I'll talk a little bit, and we'll see what.
How's that, guys? Because I kind of noticed that a little bit too. So tell me if that was better. I kind of boosted her gain on her. So
okay, good. Yeah.
Go on. Read an essay to us, and we'll hear from you.
Yeah, Sogwa lives. That's awesome. Yep.
Okay, so let me see. Hollow Shroud Gaming, what's up tonight? Well, we're going to talk about a couple things relating to her maps. I got some Greyhawk questions for her regarding some of the placement of locations, stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be kind of nerding out about. And Mark the Shark says he stuck the like button too. Awesome. But knowing it's armor class, I have no idea how to hit it. That's hilarious. So Hollow Shroud Gaming, that's what we're talking about tonight. Kill Thulu. Anna is very quiet. Yes. How does it sound now, guys? By the way, thanks for being here.
It might be that you're loud too, or something. I don't know. Yeah, normally, it's the same mic I use when I stream, so it seems to be,
Yes, Anna sounds muted, huh?
Uh-oh.
Either that or yours is loud. Okay, let me bring me down a tad.
That might be because then they can adjust the volume in their end a bit. Yeah.
Hopefully
that works. Yeah. It's always a little bit of
how
technology.
about now? This is a bit better, but you were still way louder than her. Yeah, that's weird because she's got the gain all the way up on her side. Interesting. Interesting. Microphone. Default
that's
USB.
Good. Yeah.
So it says on yours. Okay. Okay.
Well, we'll see. There might be a delay in the chat too. So that might be a
could be, maybe it'll branch out a little bit. Stephen Kennedy. Okay, Blair Blur is here. I'm here, but barely. Not feeling great. Need to cook some dinner. Please behave on my absence, my brethren. Don't forget to like and subscribe, she said. All right. Cast Cure Light Disease on Blair. Okay, there we go. All right. I think I caught up on the comments here. So yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you keep an eye on them too. If any questions come your way, lowering your mice helped. Now I can up the volume a bit on my end. Okay, good.
That's great.
Good. That's what it was. Okay. Which is weird because on the settings you're higher, so maybe your mic gain is a little lower than and I'm a loud person. So.
I'm usually a loud person too. Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, maybe it's your
that's
headset.
Weird. Hang on a second. I have a spare headset too. If let's see here.
And she's picked up on the PC mic. Yeah, it shows. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm just gonna check in my settings here and see.
Okay. So how's everybody doing out there? Well, she checks her mics, her mic and all that. Oh, we'll see what's going on here.
Let's see.
It says on my end that your microphone is the default microphone, USB audio. Okay.
Now you can't hear me now, right? Yeah.
No, we hear you.
Okay, you hear me still?
We sure do.
Okay.
I hear you.
Is it better?
Let me see.
Yeah.
Is it a little better? Go ahead and talk, Anna.
Okay, I keep talking and we'll see if is this a bit better?
Okay, you guys tell I hear you fine. So
hang on a second. Audio device. Let's see. I'm going to try this. Is it better? Oh, that's worse. Okay, that's worse.
That's worse. Yeah, that sounds like you're far away.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, is that better?
Well, you're back.
Okay, I'm better. Okay, I'm back.
How is it, everybody out there?
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay. Well, I did hit. Okay.
We'll this for now. Then we'll see. Yeah.
So Sinlar says, the Lothamar Mountains always had a good dwarven passage between the Yaddles and the Crystal Mist Mountains. Somebody was talking about that the other day, about having an underground passage all the way through the.
Hang on a second. I have auto gain control. I turned that off, and we'll see if that works. Oh, and now I turn my camera on here. Hang on a second.
Okay.
There we go. So let's see if there was an auto gain in the restream. I turned that off and see if is it better or worse?
I'm gonna up your mic and I can hear you. If anything, her volume is fine. It's Angela's. It's too loud. Okay, I'll put mine down.
Yep.
Maybe I'm just a loud guy. How about now, guys?
Okay. Is it good now? Yep.
Okay. Well, and Greg's in the house. All right, good to see you guys. Tell me if please keep telling us about the volume.
Exactly. I keep the settings ready here just in case. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We'll be setting ready. How's that?
Yeah. And I have another.
Tell me a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about you mentioned the game hole? Are you allowed to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. They have an organized play. It's hang on a second. It's there is a game hole publishing. I can put a link here somewhere and give you the link. They have an organized play. That's it's the Wardens of the Eastern Marches, gameholepublishing.com. And they have been running it for 2 years now, I think. And I did the first chapter of the map they've done for the first couple of seasons.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And
so you're doing a map for their organized play. Okay, I think.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember if you told me that before or not, but yeah, I
think you mentioned it. Yeah. So, and now they're going to for next season. They're going to start this game hole in October. I'm making a new part of the map, so to speak. So we're expanding the map for the upcoming season.
Got it. Okay. When
Yeah.
and so that's going to be out for the next game hole, which
Yep.
I can't even remember when
Yep. It's going to be shown at the game hole. That's roughly what I know because I've barely started to, so I don't know what's going to be on that map yet. So we are just ramping it up, setting up symbols and standards and correcting stuff on the old map and stuff like that. So that was
got
a lot of
got
that.
it.
So
And you don't want to spoil it, so you don't want to tell me too
no,
much.
I don't know that much yet because I've done a bunch of stuff and made sure that the project is ready to ramp up and I'm setting up templates and all that stuff. So yeah.
Oh, very cool, very cool,
Yeah.
very cool. So I wanted to ask you, you know, we've talked about it a little bit in the past, your campaign, you know, and by the way, you guys, I'm gonna put up Anna's Patreon link, and also put it in the chat here. It's also in the show notes, but on her Patreon, she releases a
lot of stuff there from my campaign.
A lot of really cool stuff, and you can follow her on there. I'm gonna put that in the chat. But yeah, scan this QR code. This will take you to her Patreon, which then you can kind of branch out to all of her cool stuff. I think this is a good starting point, right?
And unfortunately, I will not be at EggCon this year.
Yeah, I saw that question.
It's one of my conventions that are on my radar to maybe attend, but I haven't never been to EggCon yet, so to speak. So
got it. Yeah, I'm gonna be there I'll be there this time. So probably the next con that I'll see you at, like I said, in September when I go to Strategicon, I'll hit you up and maybe we'll get together.
Yeah,
but
definitely. I have several
Page for
friends
sure. You're going back to Page, right?
Yes, I'm going to Page. That my next convention will be Gen Con, I think. I might have gone to a convention in Iowa, a Comic-Con local RPG con, but I don't think that will actually happen. There's travel is expensive and all of that stuff, so to speak. They want to have me as a guest, but I can't afford to go to a convention if I have to pay for all of it myself. When flight would cost me $1,000 just to get there, so that's
you're not even talking about room and board and food.
That is no problem. That was already covered, but the problem is that just flights and all that is over $1,000.
Oh, the flight there,
But I will be at Gen Con this year because I will be working for Inkwell Ideas. I will work at their booth, so that will be.
Oh, okay.
And North Texas
cool. Have you been to Gen Con before?
Oh yeah, I've been 8 times to Gen Con. Yeah.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah. So this will be my 9th Gen Con. And North Texas is a convention I promised myself that I will go to hopefully next year.
Dude, that'll be really cool. That I will tell you, out of all the cons that I don't miss, it's North Texas.
It's a lot of Greyhawk and old school and stuff.
You got some. Yeah, it's very focused on the old school. And I I
way more old school than I am. Yeah. I'm weird in my gaming. I have one foot in old school, and then I have my 2 favorite editions. Meaning, I played every edition of D&D. We started in OD&D, but that was so briefly and whatever. So, first edition, Red Box, and then Red Box BECMI, and first edition AD&D, second edition AD&D, third edition 3.5, Pathfinder 1. 4th edition, 6 months, a little bit. I have the books. We tested it. There's some good sides, some bad sides. That was on and off. And then I played Pathfinder 1 a lot, and then 5e a little bit. And now I've developed, the last 5 years, I've developed my own rule set that I'm working on, so to speak, my own version of D&D, my Heartbreaker.
Yeah, kind of like Jay, you know, he's kind of got his foot in first edition and second edition, kind of his own thing, and there's a couple new school stuff in there. For your what would you consider new school, and how? Well, let's say Anne, I sit at a table with Anne, and we're playing your system.
Yeah.
What new school rules do you?
In a way, of all these editions and rule sets that I've used for my Greyhawk games, I played a lot of other rule systems, but I've never run. These are the systems that I've run Greyhawk in, so to speak. So that I know them fairly well. But in a way, I see it almost like three different play styles. You have the old school play style. They're from OD&D first edition, AD&D second edition, AD&D to a large degree. They represent one way of playing the game. And then came third
Yeah.
edition. That was a very much a break
The Living
and a
Greyhawk
change,
world.
so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the third edition, 3.5, Pathfinder 1, they are all one big edition, just like first and second edition AD&D are very
Yeah.
similar in play style, in my opinion. Now I'm just taking it from my experience here. And
Yeah,
then you have then you had third edition, and then comes fourth edition. That was a bit of an offshoot, in my opinion. That changed the game in different. And then comes fifth edition. That is in many ways a conglomerate, but in my opinion, they changed the style significantly. So there's like three different visions of the game, and then fourth edition that is kind of a little by itself. That didn't. It was kind of a dead end because D&D kind of came back again. Fifth edition was kind of back, but in some ways, fifth edition is a new way. And to one of the things that I've observed from 5e is that it's much more heroic, much more gamified, and also much more player centric than the old editions were. What I take with old school is that it's very simulationist in that sense that it's trying to simulate a hard reality, and you're definitely not superheroes. And it's also one thing that I think a lot of people don't really. And if you only played 5e and modern game from third edition onwards, you kind of forgot that it was a lot of adversarial between the DM and the players. The DMs were supposed to outsmart the players. That was a big part of it. The players were supposed to figure out I need this kind of tool in order to survive and go through the thing. Otherwise, my character died and stuff like that. It was kind of a survival game, and being smart, being manipulative, tweak the magic in cool new ways to kind of and then put cool traps and put monsters in a way that if the players didn't think the situation through properly, the characters will perish. That was a lot of the old school. The Tomb of Horrors were there to kill characters, and Dungeon Crawl Classics very much keep that alive with the funneling project and stuff. But third edition kind of firmly went away from that, in my opinion, and at least the way I saw third edition.
A little more heroic.
Exactly, more heroic. It was more centered on the characters, could do a lot of cool stuff and had powers and so on. But it was a little bit balanced because the third edition still had a bit of memory of old school. And then come 5e. Now it's firmly in the hands that your character is a hero and go through this heroic deed of killing dragons and do all this stuff, so to speak. And there is nothing wrong with either way of playing it. It's more like you need to figure out which way you want to play the game.
Yeah.
5e. Oh, there we go. I'm back again.
You blitzed.
Yeah. So there's all of them are. All of the styles are, in my opinion, very valid. It's just that you have to figure out which style you like the best and which one your players like. So I think it's important that people around the table needs to have some basic understanding of we want to play it old school or we want to play it heroic or something. So,
that's really interesting because there is a definite difference from how Greyhawk was portrayed in every kind of version. Let's stick on that topic. I do want to go to the comments. Dreg, I do see your comment. We'll get right to that. Blair, I want to thank you. She just did a super chat of thank you for all your support and well wishes. I think that's for all you guys telling her to feel better and etc. But thank you so much, Blair, for that. And I do see some new faces on here. Bocom, I think that's how you pronounce it. He says, my favorite cartographer. I love her, Greyhawk and Midgard. So welcome and good to see you. And a couple other comments that come in here. Solo party. Okay, good. DM wants to chat. Yeah, Blair says I think a good DM wants to challenge their players, but see them succeed from a limited experience and observation. Okay. Yeah, those DMs that just try to outsmart the players, don't they? Don't know what to think about those guys. He's talking about our recent game. You know, it's interesting. Drake's got a good question about 4E. You know, my gaming group and my style, it's very important, you're right, to see what the players, what the table style is, because nothing's bad. Like, sure, everybody has their own preference, but nothing's, you know, it's wrong for us to say, oh, you're doing it wrong. But it's right to say, oh, that's just not what I prefer to play. You know what I mean? And it's very interesting you bring that up, because I do see Greyhawk came from that OD&D first edition era, right? BX went over to what was the Mystara? That was their main. But AD&D is really the starting point in OD&D for Greyhawk, and so that's why I always go back to that, because it's got that gritty, nostalgic, foundational level for me. So I tend to go there. And it's interesting. I don't see a lot of difference between, sure, started getting a little heroic in second edition, but you know, a lot of options, a little bit more confusing. It's still a great game. It's very much like AD&D and the old school. But then you get to 3.0, which that I think was when they kind of ushered in Living Greyhawk, right? Which was and it did get a little bit more heroic, more episodic, I guess, or more, you know. But man, the content that came out during that time was super amazing, and I think that,
and we have some good comments. Sinam, I totally agree with you. Part near TPKs are one of my favorites, so to speak. When you have when the party is almost wiped out. So and total party kill it's only if it's for a greater cause, and the players themselves have kind of say, okay, I'm going to risk my character's life, and we're going to do this, and then the dice went the wrong way or whatever. That it can be okay, but yeah, I totally agree. And Troy, awesome that you're here. Good to have you here. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and thanks for being here. Totally. And I see some more new faces. Person running the game should think of themselves as a referee. Yeah, that's I talk about that all the time. You're a referee, and you're also a participant to the game. You're a participant. I like being a participant and finding out with the players what's going to happen. That's why I don't really script my games to where I think you get very narrow on rails if you do that. You know, sure, there's some style, you know, like maybe a con game or something. But as far as campaign play, I love to find out with my players. So
I'm running a very, very sandboxy games. I have no idea what will happen and where it will end up. I have no idea. But one of the interesting things with Greyhawk is that Greyhawk, since it's as old as the game itself, that means that it's been around for every one of these editions in one way or the other. Even if they were barely much published for the setting, it was still part of the D&D culture and the player culture. So it's been, at least to some degree, published for in every edition of the game. And then some, and that also makes it not unique, but it makes it different from a lot of other game setting material that hasn't been around from the early days. Forgotten Realms has been around from almost as old, so they are very similar in that sense, but not as old as a D&D setting. It's probably older as Ed's concept and idea of the setting. It might be even older than Greyhawk, but as a D&D setting, it's not as old. It's like, what is it, 5-6 years younger or something like that, or 8 or something like that.
Yeah. What really attracts me, and it's funny. I just did a video on this. It's what Alan Hammock said in the folio, and I'm not going to be able to quote him, but he says, "Here's Greyhawk. Here's the foundations of Greyhawk. This is the framework. Make it your own." You know what I mean? And it's not very. It's not as fleshed out. It really leaves it up for you, Anna, to flesh it out as the DM. You know what I mean? It gives you the the pantheons, the geography,
Yeah.
some cities, bodies of water,
Yeah.
a little bit of political and things going on. But yeah, that's what I really love about it. It just gives so much opportunity for the DM, and that's why the community's been so into it. Like there's such a huge community that are just making it their own and showing it to everybody. And wow, I'll take some of that. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's the beauty. That's the only way we can keep it alive, is that if a younger generation will also be interested in Greyhawk and its stories and as a game setting, so to speak. And now we've had 10 years where Wizard of the Coast and the D&D community have not even been interested in the concept of a setting, because the interesting thing with a game setting is you can kind of look at it from two angles. You can either look at it through the rules, meaning I'm playing in Greyhawk, I'm playing this module, I'm playing this class, I'm playing this story, so to speak. So there's one way of engaging with the game setting and a game world, is through the rules and through the modules and through the adventures. And then you have the other way of looking at it. Okay, I'm playing D&D in Greyhawk. You look at Greyhawk as a world, and you do world building, and who lives there, what do dragons do, and what's the ecology, how do undead function, how's the politics, the economy, the climate, and all of these stuff that has not really anything to do with the rules, but they are the foundations of your game. And then the rules come as a top. Some gamers come to Greyhawk and a game setting through the rules and the modules and stuff, and others come through it. They see it as a world, and then in order for it to be a simulate the game, you need some rules, and then you bolt the rules on top. I'm definitely in that later camp, so to speak. I'm looking at the world of Greyhawk like it would be a real world depicting it, and the rules is one of the tools used in order to enjoy the hobby, so to speak. But both of them are viable, and I think it's interesting to understand both where you come from, but also where others come from, because we need different tools. We might be interested in different parts of the stories, or we might need different maps. We might need different random tables, a different approach, and stuff like that. So there's, and Greyhawk can definitely facilitate both, because there's a lot of world builders that have loved to dissect Greyhawk into oblivion, so to speak. And then you have a bunch of people who just love to play the classic and say, now I've done Greyhawk, I've been there, I've been to the temple and all the other stuff. And both of them are viable.
Yeah. God, the comments went nuts here. So Dreg says Mystara wasn't a word until even the magazine until 19. I'm not a big Mystara connoisseur, but I think that box set came out in 81.
Yeah,
so,
and it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because all these old settings, just like Greyhawk, they usually had a life before they became published game settings. Meaning Greyhawk was kind of started to come around for Greyhawk, for Gary's personal campaign, and for the Castle and Crusade Society. So Gary took, meaning Gary had his realm in the Castle and Crusade Society. That was kind of a wargaming, role-playing game hybrid in the early 70s. That was the county of Walworth. That was then became part of Shieldland and stuff like that. So the Great Kingdom was part of the old that. So Greyhawk kind of emerged from Gary's home games and the Castle and Crusade Society, and then that became the game that Gary and his friends, they started to play in that setting. And then that gradually took on, and then they decided, okay, there is a market. People were asking about it, and so they made it into a product, 1980. So then you got the published version of Greyhawk. And then when Gary was ousted, you got the Gord version that Gary published in the Gord books, and then you had the TSR version. So there's like multiple forks of Greyhawk through the years. So Living Greyhawk is another one that took off in numerous directions that no one had really control over and stuff. So and a lot of the settings are a little bit like that. Yep. And Mystara and others are a little bit like that too.
it's funny. We need to put a timeline down of all of that, because you're right. I didn't even think about that, because after Gary left TSR, those Gore, he continued his novels. And we consider that canon, but Wizard of the Coast, probably not.
So you have to decide what is your lore, what you want to include, so to speak.
I use a lot of the Gore stuff in mine. Let me jump over to some comments. We got a couple questions for you, and I'll get to those really quick. I pinned them, so I'll definitely get to your question, you guys, but I do want to give some shout outs here. Let me see. Jameson says, most of my best D&D stories are swept in failure and loss. Drake says the Cook Mulvey Shik continental map was present since 80. Yep, same. Yep, you're right. An XPC. Yep, okay. Fugly is here. Thanks for jumping on, dude. He says Living Greyhawk only became a thing because of Uroga sold out the people supporting the original Living City campaign to organize play. The reason I left the RPGA. Yeah, I get it, man. Coop the word setting of his own in 91. Yeah, that box set was out in 81, dude. Stephen Kennedy, The Known Worlds. Oh my God, I'm behind in the comments here. So 2 questions for you. Number one, let's before I get to Advanced Fantasy Games question and DM and Dreg's question. Dreg asked about maps in the 4E era. I thought they had totally in 4E. I thought they totally pulled away from Greyhawk.
No, there is one Greyhawk thing. They had a version of the Temple of Elemental Evil made
for the adventure. And they had the Village of Hommlet. And those were 4E. And those were a part of the Encounters series modules. I DM'd those.
And there's also a take on Grasset, the Demon Lord, for 4E that is kind of Greyhawk related. So those are the only thing top of my head that I can remember that was
there was a very small amount, very small, because the footprint for 4E was really Forgotten Realms.
And also for 4E, that's when Wizard of the Coast started the era of no settings. It was just D&D, and you played in Temple of Elemental Evil, you played in Salt Marsh, or you played in Waterdeep, or whatever it was. The concept of a setting, and that was probably a business decision, because they studied what happened with TSR in the mid-90s. In the 90s were the high age of cool game settings. They had like Mystara, Dragonlance. There were like 12 or 13 or something. That was a dozen game settings, and all had their fans. And what Wizard of the Coast realized, at least at the time, thought that was because you siloed your customer base. So people who were fans of Greyhawk, they buy the Greyhawk books and nothing else, and the core books. And the Dragonlance fans, they bought the Dragonlance stuff. Forgotten Realms bought theirs, and Birthright was theirs, etc. So Wizard of the Coast with 4E, they veered away from not even having game settings was not a thing. It was not even a concept. You played D&D, period. You can play D&D in whatever little place. So, and that has now continued all the way up until now. Now I can see Wizard of the Coast are starting to experiment with a little bit of setting material that bring back the vibe of a little bit here and a little bit.
I mean, it quasi worked, for 2E. You know what I mean? It quasi worked. I mean, people love those.
Alphas is the perfect Dark Sun. So they are experimenting with the little test balloons and stuff. But my guess, and this is my hunch, but my hunch is that we've had a decade or more of crunch, and now I think they will realize that the actual meaning. There's 2 reasons for this. One is that we are now so much crunch that we've had 2 editions of D&D. Basically, people have enough feats, classes, subclasses to last them for a lifetime, plus all the other old ones. I think people want cool places to call home, so to speak, their game home, and that's one reason, so to speak. That and the other reason is both legal and business wise, because now D&D is in Creative Commons. there's like multiple versions of the rules. But what the IP, meaning Greyhawk, Dragonlance, Ravenloft, all of these places, that is hard IP intellectual property that Wizard of the Coast owns. I think they're going to make use of it. And second, for another reason is that now they are going more and more into digital publishing. And before, when a game company back in the analog era, when they wanted to earn money, they realized, oh, we release a new edition of the rules because then we can sell the core books all over again. And then we can sell the splat books all over again and we can earn money. The problem is that when you put the rules into digital tools, that means that when you need to update the tools, then it costs money to issue a new edition. It's not a money maker; it's a money loss. It's an expense to change the rules. That's why I think that we will not see a new edition of D&D until there's really a need for a new edition. But people want, then I think we will have an age of fluff, because when you publish digitally, you can have all the cool stuff, so to speak, and you can publish multiple game settings. It doesn't matter if you silo your customer group into 10 different silos, as long as they give you money, because it doesn't cost 10 times more to publish Greyhawk and Birthright. It doesn't double the cost if you only need to put it in the server, so to speak. So that is several reasons for me to believe that we might have way more fluff in the future than we've had the past 10, 15 years.
Well, I think it's a smart move too, because people like to identify with something too. So as long as they, and if you do it. I hate this is a strong word. If you do it right, you know what I mean. People are going to gravitate towards it. You know, so
but it's hard. It's hard with D&D because they need to cater for people from teenagers to 80-year-olds, and that is really, really, really hard. So and the last 15 years they have targeted their new game and edition to newcomers, new people that want to learn to play, which have been hugely successful both for them and the hobby. So I'm very glad they did it. It's not the edition for me, but it's a great edition nonetheless. But now that was a long tangent. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's fine. So there's a couple questions. I do want to get to this because this is very interesting. I know the answer to this, but I want you to talk about this. Anna, do you make banners for different Orc, Goblin, and Gnoll tribes and sell the banners as stock art for use for us to use and print commercially?
Yes, I make the banner. I have only made like 30 so far, but I'm working on. There will be more sets, and they are Creative Commons. So just quote me and say that I did them, and you can use them anywhere you want. You can use them in your commercial project. You can use them anywhere. So So they are clip art. So
you guys, if you're going to use anything from her Patreon and her shields and her banners, just credit her.
Yeah, exactly. And so they are labeled. They're usually on. There's like a little attached image that says Creative Commons by CC. And the main reason for that is that I want this to be raw material that gamers, streamers, and people who love to do Greyhawk stuff and others, they can use it as your raw material. So you can tweak it, you can use it as is and stuff. That's the idea with it, so to speak. So
that's really cool, because I mean you have your maps, your banners, all that heraldry too. I've seen it used all over the gamut. People, I mean, one of our first conversations ever was I said, I think I pinged you and I said, hey, could I use your shield in my blog? And he said, of course, that's what it's for. And I said, obviously gave a link on there towards for you. That's super cool.
And it's my role. Many others we have like Carlos Lysing with Castle Entertainment. He's making modules, and he makes full-fledged adventures and stuff like that. There are many others who do that. My role is to provide raw material, canvas and like maps and heraldry and back material and stuff like that for others to play with and use.
To play with, or even put it in a module. You know what I mean? I think that's super cool. You guys, thank you so much for the comments, and I'm behind, but I'm definitely
Oh, we're
going
always
to
behind, but this is so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another question for you, and this comes from Greg. Question for Anna. In the pre-1970s appendix and literature, which novel was the best? Has the best map? Who was the best cartographer in the fantasy era?
That is hard, but I want.
That's a hard question.
Yeah, that is really hard. And now I forgot the name. That was an atlas. Hang on a second. I need to put. That was an atlas of Middle Earth.
I mean, some of the Tolkien maps. I mean, obviously he was. He did.
Yeah. So Tolkien maps they are iconic, so to speak. And there's I think your name was Karen Fornebu or something like that. Hang on a second.
Yeah, that for me, I think is when I think of like world maps, it's back to those original in the books that I got when I was a kid.
Yeah. No, Karen,
I actually got my father's books.
Yeah.
My father was a big Tolkien fan, even though I never knew him. He was he had the posters and all that.
Atlas of the Middle Earth. I'm not sure if that was in Appendix N, but Atlas of the Middle Earth was made by Karen Wynne Funstad. She passed away, I think it was 2-3 years ago. And that was interesting because there was a New York Times journalist who reached out to me and wanted me to comment on it. So we had an interview, and we discussed fantasy cartography because he wanted to write an article about her, and she did a fantastic atlas of Middle Earth. It's hand-drawn maps, but they are gorgeous. And they are inspiration for, especially Ed Greenwood looked at that. And it inspired Ed Greenwood's mapping for Forgotten Realms. And Forgotten Realms maps, if you look at them, Ed Greenwood's hand-drawn maps, and I've seen plenty of them in person. Ed showed me at GaryCon. I've seen them at collectors who have the originals and copies and stuff. And they are inspired by this book a lot. And still the Forgotten Realms style is very much that one. And I adore it. It's awesome. And TSR asked Karen Wynne Fonstad to make a Dragonlance, Atlas of Dragonlance in the same style. So she did that. So that is something that you might be able to find secondhand. I don't have it, but no, I think I do. I think I have it somewhere, but I have the
Dragonlance
and so they made several. So that is from that era that I think are some of the best fantasy.
I would agree with you on the Middle Earth maps. I think those were I mean, the original ones that I remember were. I think when I think of World, I think of that. I want to go to this comment. This is hilarious. Headless. Hopefully nobody considers the World SS Greyhawk models as canon.
Well, and let me comment that a little bit because I feel a bit sorry for Rose Estes, and I've met her, and she's been to GaryCon and stuff. She's a really nice lady, and
I'm sure,
and since English is not my native language, I should never judge someone good or bad in how they write English because that's definitely not my expertise. But it's kind of sad because she was hired to do a job, and in some ways she did it. And the problem was that I don't think she had any clue of what she was stepping into. Because when you step in and write stuff and do stuff for games,
especially a world like that, that's so rich.
When you have 10,000 people who spend thousands of hours each scrutinizing.
You're going to make mistakes that are going to be pulled out.
And the only thing that my maps are popular, the only real reason I think is that because I have the whole Greyhawk fan community keeps telling me what's wrong, and I keep fixing them. And now I've been fixing them for over a decade, so to speak. So
it's not only that; it's because you're a genuine Greyhawk nerd.
Yeah, but that's the start. But the good thing is I have all the other ones that are even nerdier than me in this.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I have a list, and usually once a year I sit down and I spend a couple of weeks and I go over the map, and I have usually about 200-300 things that needs to be changed every year, and stuff. So So that's been part of the stuff. That's why my maps are coming out in editions. Usually every year or two, there's a new edition of the map.
Yeah, and on Jay's episode the other night, I think you guys were talking about.
Yeah, Jay has his own edition, so I made one for him. The problem is that one is now older than a lot of the published ones. That's like 5-6 years old. So
yeah. Matthew Sherman, welcome to the chat. Thanks for being here. Lady Lordship Blair is back, and she says, "Hey, Matt," and he acknowledges Lady Lordship. Roy Loveday, good to see you. He says, "Nah, it's garbage." Yep, I hear what you're saying. Stephen Kennedy says TSR D&D was the best D&D. Agile Monk is here. All right.
awesome.
And he says, so I so love Anna Meyer. All right. Yes, we all love you for sure. And thanks for being here, Agile. Good to have you on here.
You need to post the link. AnnaBmeyer.com is one way you can go it, or you can go to my Patreon and you can download. There's on AnnaBmeyer.com you can download it. There is on my there is a blog post that I posted a couple of days ago where you can get them on a web version that you can view them in the web browser. I had an article like last week, I think, with the new versions of that. So. And there's also, you can put the link to the campaign map that I just published on my Patreon blog. The latest post I posted yesterday is the latest version of my campaign
have that
map.
link in the show notes too. I'll put it in the chat right now also.
And be warned, that's my personal campaign map. It has tons of stuff on there that are just my idea of Greyhawk. So that's why I labeled them my Meyerhawk. That Meyerhawk is a warning label, meaning you get a lot of my crap and not only
your campaign's in there. Let me go to the chat real quick. Agile, so the gift goblins are returning. We call them the gift goblins. Agile Monk says super chat I support Anna Meyer's Patreon at the fullest.
Awesome.
She is amazing, and I want to have her create for our company, FCW. You guys should hook up. Yes.
Send me an email, and then we can set up a Zoom and discuss it. Yep. And I can warn everybody who wants me to do a commission. I usually have about 2 years pipeline. So now we're talking. We can start talking a commission project 2028, 2029, not before then. That's the sad part of it. So yeah. And
you're a busy person, that's for sure.
Yeah, and there are the good thing with that is that if you want to get into the artsy fantasy cartography, there is room for cartographers. There's only like 10 people that do this. There's probably room for at least 50. So if you want to get into this, there is room for you. Yeah.
Yes. So okay, let me see. Roy Lovejoy says, how do I get the map? I think that's what you just answered.
Yeah.
And I have it, and I'll put more links in the chat, you guys, but also in the show notes is her website. And I'll bring up her Patreon in a second here. Part of the Gift Goblins Advanced Fantasy Game just gifted 5 memberships to people on here, so thank you so much for that. It looks like
awesome.
I'll go through the list really quick, but thank you Advanced Fantasy Game for being our membership gift goblin tonight. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you, dude. So now we have 5 new members of the channel, and go in there and check out some of the channel perks and behind the scenes videos and stuff like that. Definitely appreciate you doing that, Advanced Fantasy Games. He asked in caps, Roy Loveday says, how do we get the map? Okay, let me put
the web version link. That's easiest, because the ones to download, the map is huge. So you can't just, if you can either download it as a JPEG to your hard drive and then look at it, or you can go to the PathoZoom and look at it in the browser. That's
if
usually the easiest.
you go to Anna Meyer, the Patreon, it's the last post she has in there.
Yep.
You can download it there.
If you scroll down, there's a link with, they're different. I have a 576 public version and a 590.
Yeah, all on the top,
version.
the bar, the banner up on top. Yeah. It's all in there. Love Day, it's in there. I'll get the straight link for you in a second. Taller Halfling, good morning from Bulgaria.
Okay,
wow.
Awesome.
Very, very cool. Thanks for being on. And welcome to DM and Friends, and welcome to I'm DM Angelo, and this is Anna Meyer up here, the one and only. So welcome.
Good to see people here up here. That's awesome.
Yeah, a big another way to get to her Patreon, I just put that in the chat, but another way is I'll put the link up here, guys, while we're all here. This is Anna's Patreon site. Scan that code, and I just put the link in the chat too. But that's her Patreon site where she does all kinds of really cool. I mean, you can get everything there. So check out that, scan it, go to her site. Let's show her some support, and cool stuff. I support her Patreon, and I think a lot of us on here do. But if you feel so inclined, check it out. She's got a lot of free stuff on there too, but
almost everything. There's nothing behind paywall. Sometimes I put it up a few days, so patrons. That's one of the
patrons to get them.
You can see it a bit early, and that might be in the future. There might be things that are put behind a paywall for bandwidth reasons. So raw files like that are really, really big. They're like we're talking gigabytes and stuff. And I might run a geo server and stuff like that I might have to put behind a paywall. But then you can download the source file and set it up yourself. So it's not that you can't use it. It's just that if you want to have the convenience of having someone else host it, that will cost money. So in the future, I plan to set up a geo server like Google Earth, but for Greyhawk. That's one of the plans. So when I get that, I need to either have way more bigger following or I have to limit the bandwidth. But the files to set it up will be downloadable. So you can download it, set up your own, but then you might need to set up your own server and stuff. So there might be a paywall for that. But all the content I'm creating is available for free.
Yeah. So on top of that too, I want to bring up, since there's a lot of chat in the here about Agile's Kickstarter too, that if you guys don't know about this and you're here for the first time, also scan this too. One of our Agile monk who's in the chat right now, and it's kind of some back and forth about his Kickstarter. I think it's at day 17 right now. Of the Wondrous and Dangerous Consortiums. It's almost ready to be funded. So go on there and check that out. Scan this code. That'll bring you to it. I'll put the link in the chat also. Less than 5,000 to go on the Kickstarter. Awesome. So super close, you guys. Super close. Let's get him past that hump, guys, and get it funded, because the project is really cool. A lot of neat faction stuff in there, things you could use in your campaign or in this world. Really cool world building stuff. So definitely check that out, guys. I would love to. Let's get him over the $5,000 hump during this live stream, everybody. But yeah. So, anyways, we love Agile, and we love what he's doing. And by the way, too, Anna, this Kickstarter, that his company is veteran owned, made in the USA. He does a lot of support for the veterans, and I know you're a veteran too, so you could probably appreciate that. But you guys definitely 85% funded. So that's super cool. Super cool. So Anna, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, and let me get that link to the direct link for the here it is. Here's the link. I'm going to put this in here. This is the map, the 576 map. put that in the download there. And also it's in the show notes, guys, too. So you can go there. All of her links are in there. I wanted to ask you a little bit about, so your campaign, I asked you the question a little bit before, and I don't know if you answered it. You talk about a little bit of new school that you have in your play style versus old school, and you kind of have a mixture of it. When I sit down with Anna and you run a game for me at a con, right?
Yeah.
Under your system, under your Hawktails, your version of D&D, what components of new school do you have in there? That because there's some good rules in 5e. There's just I'm not a 5e player. I have played. I like advantage, disadvantage. I used a way of that in the past. Before I think it even became a thing. But like, what when you say that, I want you to kind of dig in a little bit deeper when you say that. Like, what do you mean?
Well, I've taken the 5e math, the base math of 5e, disadvantage, advantage. I have the 6 abilities that we are used to from D&D, but I've added 3. So you have the 3 physical, the 3 mental, and then I have 3 metaphysical. We can get to them later, but I've just that's another aspect of
really?
D&D
okay,
that
so
is
you
not
added a couple different stats.
Yep.
Oh,
you have
that's
3 more
interesting.
stats that are the metaphysical. Yep.
Do you remember that in second edition because you're right, you have mental, and then you also have physical, right? So Dex, Con, and strength are your physical. Wisdom, intelligence, and charisma would be your mental, I guess, or whatever they categorize.
I put in comeliness was in the
I use comeliness too. I do that as a 7 stat.
So comeliness is one of the 3 metaphysicals. You have presence, comeliness, corruption. Those are the 3 metaphysical ones. The presence, comeliness, and corruption are the
okay. So presence. Okay, that's interesting. Comeliness and corruption. Now, remember, I don't remember what they were in second edition, but I remember they added substats of. Do you remember that? I think there was
it was a little bit of
I don't remember exactly what they were, but I know
it was so long ago now that
Yeah, there was 3 substats, I think, or 2 substats of like strength, and then there was 2 of con. I mean, it was super granular, grainy, and whatever you want to call that word. But so it's kind of what you've done with yours. So that's interesting. Like, so corruption. That's almost like in Star Wars where you have dark and light.
The 3 metaphysical is your character standing in the multiverse.
I like that.
It ties into things a little bit like alignment and stuff. So it means how close are you to death and life, and where will your soul go? And also you have something called an essence. Each creature have an essence. That's the spark of life, and there are different ones. So if you're human, you have a soul.
Is it on a scale of 3 to 18 like other stats are?
No, they're each individual, so to speak. So corruption goes negative, or it's like negative, but it only goes one way. You get more and more of it in your life. There's only divine intervention.
So 0 would be your starting point, and you're basically neutral in where you're corruption.
With death, if you use necromantic magic and you get cursed and stuff like that, then your corruption value increases. And presence is your life force, and that increases throughout the career. But if you fail death saves, you lose it permanently. So that's like the spark of life is there, and comeliness is your standing in the world, so to speak. So you can, it's like a currency. You can risk your comeliness, and it's a bit of your currency that you can kind of in the back of your mind you can use it. And it depends how these functions depends on what kind of essence you have. So if you have a soul, then you can sell your soul and to a demon lord or someone else and get power from it and stuff. That's one way of you can have a pact. So that's one way of getting divine magic, for instance, is that you can do it. Or you can lose it, a vampire might come and steal it from you, or something like that, or magic.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's funny. It's funny, like in my I'm sorry about that.
no,
It's funny in my Greyhawk campaign. I mean, just in my DMing style, I do use comeliness, and that's a physical attribute, meaning your looks. Like like it's described in Unearthed Arcana. And I used to use another stat. It was just for the house thing that I tried for many years, and I got away from it. But I used to use a reputation score, and that
is something I have in Hawktails too, if you want to use it. But and that is
I used a reputation score, and it would go up as you go up in level. It would go up as you did things that would increase your reputation in the area, and you can go far away and be known, but then also go far away and that reputation wouldn't follow you. So it was a very kind of weird system, and it was a point system. It started at 0, and it would increase and decrease in certain ways too. But I like that. But it's funny. Valimar Cleaver mentioned that skills and powers in second edition. I never used it. I just glanced through it, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, this is a lot. But that's interesting. So that's pretty cool. So
and
thanks for diving into that.
Yeah, and essence is also something that makes different types of creatures functions mechanically very different. Like undead function very, very different from like, and also spirit-based creatures. So if I have it that elves, when they go old, they lose their soul and become spirit creatures. That's why they can live long, so to speak. And then we have demons and devils and ghosts and all sorts of stuff. There's 17, I think, different essences, and they all mechanically functions different. A lich, for instance, is a dark soul, and that means that they can use they can put their essence in a phylactery, so they don't need to have it on them, and that means that they can respawn and stuff like that from it. And they also don't need to rest and recover. They do it by when they increase their corruption, that gives them the power to cast more magic and stuff like that. So by going out and doing evil deeds, they become more powerful, literally. So that's why they need to recharge. That's like a rest and recovery. You go out and kill something and do something like that. So they become very, very scary, because the more you fight them, the more difficult they become to some degree. So
I like to hear how it's funny because like over the years, people that have been running games for so long, you always kind of put your little twist in things, and I appreciate you kind of diving into that. That's
we need to deep dive when I have published a version of the rules. I'm on the second alpha. I've worked on the rule set for about 5 years. And I've run about 100 playtest sessions online and at conventions and in live, so to speak, and stuff. So now I had enough that I ended that playtest last year, and then I've been rewriting the rules to the second generation alpha, because now I realize that things I can do way better, and I need to add and tweak, and it was not complete. So I just wanted to test the combat system and the base system, so I knew how magic and combat and stuff works. Now, when I want that, I'm going in and putting in the extra bits, and I iron out some of the bugs that was not working really well. And now I'm going to come back and run a new series of playtest sessions, and I will also publish this set of, because in the beginning it was basically an Excel spreadsheet. There was some notes of all the rules, so I can playtest the rules. And now I have enough that I can start writing down the basics of a rule system, and it's interesting because I think I got a couple of fairly unique stuff, and also there's no classes in it, so everybody is kind of multi-class. You get different. You can do different things. So I wanted everybody to be whatever mishmash of because classes is a fantastic tool when you want to get into a game quickly and you want to understand, okay, I want to do this, then pick that class and you get everything with it. But once you play for a while, you want to be able to get the character where you want it. So So there's two things that I guide what the characters can do and who you want your character to be. One is the desire of the player, and the other thing is what happens in the game. These two things should guide what the character can do, and that's where I have the rules. So you basically, meaning if you go around and try to kill things and get better with a weapon, you will get better at with the weapon, and so on and so forth. So training is kind of built into the game. So I have.
Interesting.
Yeah, you still have levels though, so you kind of, and that's to distinguish how far you've gotten up. I plan for 30 levels, but that is going the old back me. Everything from 0 level, you're a farmhand and village idiot, to God, so to speak. So I want to cover the whole power level, because not only the characters, every creature in the world use the same rules. So I want to have the same rules covering everything. And that's one of the other things that I think that I've done in my rules that I haven't seen anywhere else. Gods functions very differently. They are not creatures in the same sense. They are phenomena in that way. And they can come to be in different ways, so to speak. So you can literally go out, both become a god, you can kill a god, but you have to go after them, and they're new interesting phenomena. So that's something you build a campaign around. So there's some of these concepts that I have that are not in the normal rules, so to speak.
Yeah. Thanks for jumping on, and appreciate you being here. See, you got to jump. So thank you so much for jumping on. I appreciate you being here. So thanks for following Anna over here. So awesome. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, that's crazy. I want to get back into it. I do see a comment from Agile here about Easy Zoom, which we know this is it's broken, but I thought you converted everything.
Then new links. So go to my Patreon blog or my website. There's links to the PathoZoom links. That instead of Easy Zoom, they're called PathoZoom.
Yeah, let me put that link in there too.
Yeah. So they work. It's just that the links are changed. So yeah, and there's I posted that last week, I think, or a couple of weeks ago.
Well, it was a while back. Yeah, I think Easy Zoom went out, right? They
restructured and now call themselves PathoZoom, because they are now focusing on medical imaging and not just images in general.
Yeah,
but the service is still there. It's just under PathoZoom instead of Easy Zoom.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure it will be for much longer, so I have to look into solutions for that.
Yeah, Agile, that's the link to the Patreon. I'm not sure what link we're using for that Easy. Yeah, but you've converted all that over though and got off there.
Oh yeah, they have PathoZoom links, and the post is it's about a week old, I think. Easy Zoom update. It's May 16, so it's a month old. Yeah.
Is there any other links you want me to put in the chat here?
I can put the. Hang on a second.
You can put it in the.
You can put it in Discord. Yeah.
You can put it in. Well, you can put it in the private chat right here. I'll send you something.
Oh, okay. Private chat.
And then I can post it for you if you want. I don't know if you see that down there.
Yeah, I see it. There you go. That's the that's the post where I have all the links to the
Yeah. Okay. Let me get that. I'll put the. Okay. This is the Easy Zoom. Here you go, Agile. This is here's what she's talking about. Yeah.
Yep. There you have the updates to the PathoZoom links. All the maps.
Yeah. Agile says yes. I have her Patreon, and he's a big supporter. Yep.
I'm going to update that post with the new link here too while I'm at it, so I can just go in.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So I actually wrote that as a question for you. Do you use any very specific Greyhawk classes that you've created? But you have a classless system that you run, so that kind of answers that question. That's interesting. That's super interesting. And your current campaign is in 5.99.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what is happening in 599? Just so those of us that haven't followed you on Patreon and saw your updates or have seen you on Jay's show talking about it. By the way, you guys, she's on Lord Gasumba's
usually on Wednesdays and Sundays. We have the Legends and Lore show on Wednesday and the Gabbing show on Sundays. I'm the co-host.
And I watch you all the time on there, and you guys just do some great content, talking about deep diving into stuff, and it's so much fun.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, look at this! Advanced Fantasy Games, one of the gift goblins, by the way.
Yeah,
he gifted memberships tonight. He also says you joined Anna's Patreon tonight. Can't wait to dig in and get better acquainted. Great stuff, Anna. Your work is amazing. Yeah, this is DM Greg, who just put out his first module ever. Did really well on it, and is a huge lover of Greyhawk. So. All her stuff in there, all her great art and heraldry and banners, which I one of these as you keep doing the banners, I'm in love with those, by the way. Check out that stuff, DM Greg, because it's free for you to use as long as you credit her and whatever you do, and use it in your campaigns. And you were okay. Agile says I was making sure others knew. It was went to a specific post for the downloads that still show the older Zoom. Okay, got it. Thanks for that heads up, Agile. Appreciate it, dude. You're the best. So I want to do. I got a copy of your campaign map that you brought up. You guys okay with me bringing up a map right now? And we can dig into it. Those games, you guys have not seen it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to look at some spots on I got my glossography here, and on page 30, you guys. There's a section on there called Adventure Locales, and it gives for the Darling maps. It gives you kind of the locations, the approximate locations of a lot of the areas in some of these, some of these old modules like A1, A2, A3, A4. So I wanted to bring these up and just kind of talk about your positioning on some of this stuff. Mark says, "Yes, please. Woot, show the map." Okay, we got people that want to see the maps. Okay, so I'm going to try sharing. And you gave me a JPEG version of it that you can download.
We have the online version too. So
Yep. So let me see if I can figure out a good way to do this.
You make it as big as possible.
Let's see here.
Yes, that's the.
No, we don't want that. We would like that.
Now you're starting to.
That might be kind of cool.
I can move.
We got to move over a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, or maybe this. No, let's go back to this. Let's go back to this. Here we go. So I for me, I love what you've done in here. I love how you fleshed out. I'm going to go to Pomarsh for any requests where to go, guys. Put it in the chat.
We have A0 is the only important location. That's cool because if I remember correctly, top of my head, it's Dark Shelf, and Dark Shelf is a bit. If you go north of the Pomarsh and you have the east coast of the Bright Desert and then go a little bit east, follow the coast, there's a little place called Dark Shelf there. That I think is from A0, if I remember correctly.
A0 came out in that collection, I think, right? For it was a brown book, and they added that intro module to the A series. I never really dove into it too much, and I should probably break it out and look at it. But so this is the area it's in.
No, go north along the Bright Desert, and there you go.
Oh, okay. It's in the it's in the Bright.
No. It's the east side of it. There you go. Zoom straight in. There's a little place called Dark Shelf. There you go. A little bit south.
Oh, okay. So it's just right across the bay.
Yep.
Or the
That's
sea, I guess.
that's where Dark Shelf. That's the location, if I remember correctly, top of my head,
For
where
A0.
is.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's
Mhm.
where they started out, and then you
Yep.
obviously
And then
you
if you go down to Pomarsh, you can see where the A0 and the other ones, the locations. You
yeah.
have the
Well,
stockade.
here's Highport right
Mhm.
here,
Yep. And
and
then
that's where A1 starts,
yep.
and then there's. I thought I saw another map that you had that had the temple on the outside over here too, but maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping. But yeah, that's the starting point for
Yeah,
A1.
and then we have
Because the
Slaver
temple,
Stockade is a bit south. You follow the road up in the hills. You
yeah,
get
the
Slaver
slave road.
Stockade.
This is the slave road right
Yeah,
here, and
Henrill, I think, is mentioned in the somewhere in there too. And then you have up in the middle, you have Cotton Lake or Sutterham, Sutterham and Stoneheim, and the Worm's Jaw Mountains in the middle of a little bit southeast from there.
yeah, it's
Road.
right
There you go.
over
That's the locations from the slavers.
Stoneham.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Stoneheim. You have
Sutterham.
Sutherham.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cotton Lake.
Where's the stockade at? The stockade
Oh, you have
is.
the mouse. Yeah, where you have the mouse cursor. Your
Oh, it's
hand
right here.
there.
It's right on,
Yep.
right on that.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the
there it is.
slaver stockade. Yep.
Yeah, the Slaver. Yeah, Slaver stockade. Um, so interesting. I think that it's supposed to be 120 miles from here, which
It's
is
almost
and
exactly
as
at
as the crow
120 miles.
flies, it's not.
Yep.
But the road is 120
Yep.
miles. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's interesting. Then you end up going to Sutterham and
Yep. The measurements, I try to be as correct as possible, and I think it's almost exactly that distance
I
on my
think you
map.
did a great
Very,
job. I
very
think,
equal. Well,
yeah.
it's always difficult because some distances don't really measure up because there's so many sources, but I try my best over time.
Yeah. I got a couple other questions for you. So Shellback says, is Karatur on the map? This one
No,
right here.
it's not, because Karatur was that original Oriental adventure setting that was supposed to be from, at least from the rumors, and I think they wrote about it in Dragon magazine early on. It was supposed to be an Eastern part in the Greyhawk setting, an
Yeah.
Oriental part originally. It never made it into, and then eventually it got into Mystara or whatever. They wrote it in some other setting later. So it was never, so I never included it. I never played it.
Never
I have the
included it,
book,
yeah.
but I never, so it never made it onto my map for that reason, so to speak. So yeah.
Here's a great question from Drag. He says, I wonder if Anna Meyer has, I don't know how to pronounce that, Vola on any of her maps.
I never, I don't know. I need to Google that and see what that is.
Yeah, what
that,
is
I'm
that?
curious. I'm curious. I'm very curious. When I see a cool name like that, I'm like, what?
Yeah, and he mentions, been meaning to ask Alan Hammock, but maybe Anna knows. Yeah, I don't know where that.
Hang on a second.
I've never heard of that.
I'm going to go to my archive of Greyhawk information and put that in there, and then we'll see if I get a hit.
And he mentions Alan Hammock in it, who actually wrote A3. So, but and a couple other things in Greyhawk.
Because I digitized as much as I could of my Greyhawk stuff. So I'm going to search through the whole database, and we'll see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google that right now. Or maybe you can put a quick
I
Google.
put it in my database, and then we can see. No, I have no hits in any of my Greyhawk stuff. So yeah. So it might be something related to. Yeah.
Another question, which is a really good one, and I don't know the answer to this.
Uh-oh.
David Sutherland, and is we lost you. Okay, there you go. You're back.
Yeah.
Is it named after the artist David Sutherland? Is also meaning South?
I wouldn't be surprised at all. That might very well be. Yeah, I don't know if it is, but it sounds very plausible because they did that so often in Greyhawk. I mean, Perrinland is named after Jeff Perrin, etc. There's so many, and Gygax's name is like in 20 different versions.
Yeah. I mean, they put a lot of things that they knew, bar names. Yeah. I mean, that's what you do when you're creating a world. You pull things in. yeah, I would imagine. I've never heard of that. That
So, but it sounds
Sutter,
very
Sutter Ham.
possible. So, yeah.
But I would not. Yeah, I would have to. Yeah, I'd have to definitely ask some
We have to
old
ask Alan
folk.
next time Alan Hammock when we see him. Yeah.
Yeah. Drake says interesting answer to the shellback, but keyboard won't let me. Interesting. Okay. Let me see. Looks like Earth Journals 12. Okay. I don't know what that. What's that answer referring to, Yemison? Okay. Let me see here. David Sutherland was all over this material. Yeah, he sure was. Yeah, and I wouldn't doubt that it was named after, because Sutter. I mean, yeah, Sutter Ham instead of Sutherland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question for you from Advanced Fantasy Games. He says, for Anna, would you consider contributing to an adventure module in osric compatible with 1E using some of your work like tribe name, banner, and original backstory, unless you are too busy?
Yes, I would love to. And if it's something that heraldry and banners and stuff, that is something that might go quicker, because that can be done in hours rather than weeks and months of time, so to speak. So definitely, yeah. And I think there's so many modules on DM's Guild. There's probably about 30 or 40 now that has my stuff in it one way or the
There's
other.
a lot of things that have on
Yeah,
DM
because
Guild,
I get
for sure.
one new thing almost every week mentioned, or someone alert me. And if you put it in there, use it. Please send me an email or reach out, because that would be awesome. And I would love to get like a copy of a PDF or something. Would be fantastic. I love that. So I can add it to my collection and refer to it, and that way I can also promote what you're selling. That is one of the.
Let me ask you this. On your website, I can't remember. Do you have a contact information on your website?
I have the Blue Sky and a few others. The problem is that if you put your email there, you get like screwed over by how much. But the easiest way is that put in $3 a month and join my Patreon, and you can definitely reach out to me, and then you can cancel it.
Oh, that's right. He can. He's a part of your Patreon. He can message you.
You can just message me, and I'll send you my email and stuff like that, and stuff, so to speak. So no problem. It's just that if you put your email on your website, you get like millions of spam mail rather than thousands. Yeah.
Okay, so this answers the question. Yeah, and I know Orth Journal 12. I know that one pretty.
Yeah.
But I don't remember seeing that. But I'm gonna have to go back.
That's an old one. Now I'm kind of curious here to see which one.
Yeah, now I'm super curious.
Yeah, because I have them
God. See, now I gotta stop sharing here. I gotta go to my copy of Orth Journal. Let me go here. I'm gonna bring it up because now you got me super.
Well, now we get curious. What
Yeah, now you got me super curious here. Oh God. Okay. TM. Okay. RPG. Earth Journal 12, huh? Oh, here we go. Okay, here it is. Let me bring up a copy of that. There's that. Let me do this. Let me screen share here.
Article.
Yeah, see, this is what we're talking about nerdy now. So we gotta bring this up.
And Rich Diaola, he's fantastic. He's a Canadian guy. He's super cool. See if I move over here, but so I can stay in camera. Yeah. So
okay,
he wrote stuff, and then we have how to say
here it is.
in Gnomish. Yep. By Paul J. Stonberg. Yeah.
Okay, so here it is, Anna. It says right here. It is a small place known as Thunenzolia, Zenzola, the Gnome Vale, sharply deep in the Yaddles. The tribe of Oridians encountered the peaceful.
What page?
Yeah, that's on page number 19.
19. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go in there. Yeah.
And I can make this bigger too. So interesting. Yeah, I know this issue too. I don't think I've read this particular article. So yeah, you're gonna have to put that on the map.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you. This is so cool.
Yeah. So secreted. Gnome Vale, secreted deep in the Yaddles. The tribe of Indians encountered a peaceful known as Denian.
Now I have it. Yep.
Of this
Perfect.
place. Among the readers was a sage named. Oh my God! There's all kinds of. That's what I love about Greyhawk. It is.
Yep.
She found the Neblin language to be simple and flexible enough to create an endless supply of new words and descriptors. Yeah, perfect use for a comment. Yeah, what was the name of this article? Look who the writer is of this. Paul Stormberg.
Okay, cool. Then we can ask him about if there's any more details. So perfect. Thank you so much. Now,
I really love. Do you kind of frequent the Orc journals? I mean, obviously.
No, I haven't written anything, but my maps and heraldry have been used a lot of times, and I've kind of been a consultant many times for Worth Journal. But I haven't written any articles myself. But my maps and heraldry stuff.
You dive into them.
I've read all of them multiple times there, but sometimes things slip through my and this is one of the old ones too. So yeah. So awesome! Thank you so much. This is cool. I put it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'd love to see where you figure out where to put that. And
I put it in my map notes list. That's my to-do list. And when I get stuff like this, I copy it and I put the link to the source. OJ12. So that way and then when I get some time, I decide to take some time and sit down and do a new edition of the map. So then I go over all the stuff. So yeah.
Advanced Fantasy Games got a chart.
Gnome Vale is on the map, by the way, so I know where to put it. Gnome Vale is on the map, so we know where to put it. Hang on a second.
It's by the Yaddle Mountains.
Sometimes things are on the map without me remembering it. Gnome Vale, no, it is not on the map. So good, we can need to put it there. But Gnome Vale is up in the Yaddle Mountains. If you know where the Yaddle Mountains are. No, west.
Oops.
There's the Yaddles. Yep, and then zoom in a little bit west. That's the little bit. Yeah, you have go north a bit. So you have the Yaddle. There you go. Zoom in straight in there. You have a shield for Mordenkainen's shield there in his obsidian citadel. Gnome Vale is just north of it.
Yeah.
No, up in the mountains in the Yaddles. So yeah, a little bit southwest.
Yeah, so it's all right here, right?
Or go slightly west, little bit west. There you go. Zoom in right now, and you're there. No, don't move. And zoom in even more. Come, zoom in, and then go north a little bit. There you have Obsidian Citadel. There's Gnome Vale.
Oh, there we go, right here. See, the Gnome's in.
That's Gnome Vale. So
the
there,
it
needs to be there somewhere. So yeah. And that geography is not super good. It's Old Bryce is a 20-year-old software, 25-year-old software or 30 years. It's from 1995. So used on my old Pentium computer and stuff when I did it originally.
Yeah. So this is the Gnome Vale right here. Yeah. So right, this valley, I guess, right?
Yep, somewhere. So
I guess that would be the valley, right?
Yeah, it's not properly done by any means, so it's going to be much better in the next generation of maps. So yeah,
that's really incredible that you knew exactly where that was. I mean, because this whole range is huge. I mean, it's right here. Yeah,
and sometimes I surprise me because I put things on the map 20 years ago or 25 years ago and then forget about it. So yeah. So, now I know to put it and study it. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So there'll be there. One of these days there'll be a city in there from
or somewhere. Yeah, we need to figure out what type of settlement it is and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. That's the A series. Let me see here. So,
now we
so
have the hidden shrine of
Timoshian.
Yeah, or Tamoacan. Yeah. Now you need to go way south. You need to
Yeah.
go to the Amedio jungle. There's the southern tip sticking out towards the Olman Isles and the
Yeah.
Amedio. So yeah, go a little bit west. That's Pirate Isles. Go north and that's north and a little bit west. There you have the Olman Isles. Just west of the Olman Isles, you have the peninsula sticking out from. And there you zoom in and then go north. Go a little bit north. There you go. There's the
Yeah.
Tamawakan.
So
Yeah.
it's
But
right.
it's
Okay,
actually now I realize that it's on my campaign map. I forgot to move it. It's Tamoacan is moved on the latest official maps. It's moved south. There's like a crater-like thing. Go south about 150, 200 miles. There you go. That's where Tamoacan is. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have it just north
Oh
on
yeah,
your.
yeah. So it was something I updated a long time ago on my public maps, and it's I
You
forgot.
know, this is an area that I have not really explored campaign wise in
Now I need
the
to do
jungles.
that on my campaign map too, because I'm going to open my campaign map in Illustrator and fix that right away, so I know to change that. So yeah.
Yeah, because this is a very. I mean, the culture here is what very what Omen kind of.
Yeah, it's Olman and a bit of Sewell and yeah, Olman Sewell I think is primarily down there, and then yeah, so it's Olman and some Sewell invaders and people who moved in.
Lands of the Eye God. Look at
Yeah,
this. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this whole area was very Aztecian influenced,
yeah.
kind of. If you really kind of, I don't know if it's what they kind of, kind of tried to, double click on, I guess if that's what you want to call it.
Thank you for
Uh,
some more updates on that gnomish place. I'm putting that into the notes here too. So yeah.
oh yeah, let me see what he said there. Dreg, yeah, those gnomes make an appearance in both. Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, and WG4 too. Okay, so that's great
Yep.
for you to put notes to do
Yep.
more research.
Yep. Yeah,
From
because that is there. That is up there too. So it's on those other places are on the map. Yeah.
Yeah, Olmec and Pic, not Aztec, but sure. No, I'm talking about the influence for that area. It's kind of I think even the hidden shrine of Timoshin was kind of influenced by
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
difficult to draw any straight. I try to avoid straight
Real world.
Yeah, but I know that a lot of things in Greyhawk were inspired.
Yeah, I mean you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, and I did a video on this recently. I mean, he took a lot of. I mean, like think there's an area that's definitely Viking influenced, right? There's also a few. You look at different cultures. It's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It might be a little European, but then with the splash of this and that. So it's very interesting. I like that. Harold Johnson did C1, which is Medio Jungle. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dreg, you're on fire right now.
Yeah.
I love it. So let's look at one more thing here. So so the Ghost Tower, which was in Hex A492, which
now
is
you need to go to Woolly Bay.
over by the Woolly Bay.
Yep. And it's there.
Whoops.
There you
Let me back up.
Yeah, you
Okay.
see, you get a lesson in Greyhawk geography here.
Yeah. Okay. Where's
there
Woolly
you go.
Bay?
No, west, northwest. Go up north. You were there. You were just there.
Yeah.
Now you're
I'm
there.
all backwards here.
Zoom in again.
Trying to do the computer too is.
Yeah. There you go. No, don't go anywhere. No. There you were there. North.
Okay,
It
there's the
was in the middle,
Pomar.
and then you moved your mouse away and you zoomed in. Wait, there you go.
There it
Now,
is. Oh my
now
God,
you
I should
zoom in.
know this too. It's right above the Pomars.
That's the most
Um,
classical area of Greyhawk, the Wild
yeah,
Coast.
yeah. I don't
There
know
you go.
why.
And then,
I'm,
well,
I'm all disoriented back looking at. Okay, there we go. Okay.
you
So
there. There you
Ghost
go.
Tower.
Yep, it's in there
Ghost
now.
Tower. Let's see if we
Yep,
can find the Ghost
it's there.
Tower.
Don't move away because it's almost in the middle of the picture. Yep,
Yeah. Yeah. Here's your Woolly Bay.
yep.
Let me see. How are you looking at it? Okay, so it's a little north of
It's on the
uh
northeastern shores of southeast of Harvey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Follow the
looking at
coast
it.
east
I'm
of
looking at it
southeast
over
of
here,
Harvey.
and the screen's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Ghost Tower.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh, I like that little ship that you kind
Yeah.
of put in
Those
your
are
little.
copies from the slavers. Put a lot of these kind of
They sunk a
shipwrecks
lot
in
of
there.
ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I added them in there too. Yeah.
Did you yeah, did you do any have you ever messed with Hardby at all?
Not much. Not much. But I know Jay has and several others have done lots of it. I have barely touched it in my campaigns. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've been there
Yeah.
very briefly. We've been in the area, but not in a long time. That's like 30 years ago.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, Harvey was a I have an NPC I just introduced that's from Hardby, and I believe that is a what's it called where it's a woman ran uh
Ginarchy or
yeah,
Ginarchy, or how do you pronounce it? Yep.
yeah.
Ginarch
So
of
Hardby,
Hardby. Yep. It was a lineage of female sorcerers, or like they had huge magical talents, so they were sorcerers, and
yeah,
they ruled Hardby. So Hardby, I have in my take on Hardby is that Hardby has really old roots. It was originally Old Flan because it's such a obvious location to build a city at the in the bay. It's shielded, it's a natural port, it's by the river that flows out, etc. So it's kind of a natural place to settle. So I have it that they settled really long time ago. And then you get the first wave of immigrants or that came during the migration was Sewell, the early. So you got a Flam
yeah,
Sewell culture, and that's where the Ginarchy started to come, so to speak. So that's it's from that era, and that's before Greyhawk was more than a tiny little trade post along the Salintan. So that was so I have it that Hardby, in my take on it, is that Hardby is way older than Greyhawk is, but Greyhawk grew when the Grey Kingdom came in. They needed
oh, okay, that's interesting that
yeah.
you
So
claim
so
that
I
as
have
being
it. Yeah.
older.
So Hardby was a big town or small city when Greyhawk was just a trading little outpost along the river. And I also have it that there is one of these anomalies in geography is that lakes in the real world over time only has one outlet. Temporarily, when there's like huge inflow of water, then they can have two outlets. But eventually, the lake level, water level will settle where the lowest output is, so to speak. And Salintan has two rivers flowing out of it. And that is not natural over time, so to speak, at least not in the real world. So I was like, maybe I can do something fun with this. And Nessa River, there's multiple inlets, so to speak. There's a lot of water coming into the lake, which is perfectly natural. A lake can have many creeks and rivers feeding into it, but over time there will only be one outlet. And so,
Yeah,
so I have it. And Nesser in the east looked to me way more natural as the big river flowing out of it. So that's the natural outlet of the lake. But I have it that after the last ice age, there was actually two rivers. There was a western river that cut through the Cairn Hills, so to speak, there, and that was like a little gorge. That was a temporary river, and that river then dried up after the ice age. Now we're talking several thousand years ago, and then when the Great Kingdom came, they started to reach out and started to conquer more and more of it. When they came with their huge amount of resources, they realized that Salintan River that originally ran from the hills south into Woolly Bay. They realized that you could dig through that old valley that was originally a river back in an outlet during the Ice Age when the ice melted temporarily. And then you can build a canal through there and add that to the Salintan, and you will get a much shorter route from the ocean to Lake Nir-Döv. So you can get a Greyhawk can be that post, the link between Nir-Döv and the ocean, because the Nessa River is 1,000 miles through Nat Marsh and
the Nir-Döv is huge.
Yeah,
it's such
exactly.
a
It's
huge.
like it's an inland ocean that is like 500 miles long and 200 miles.
Yeah, look at this. This is big.
Yeah. So the Overkings, they realized, or the thinkers and doers in Rossi's, the capital of Grey Kingdom, they realized that if we build a city and we build a canal and a city where Greyhawk was, if we take that little trading post of the Baron of Salintan and turn that into a port city, that will be the link between Nir-Döv, the short link between Nir-Döv and the ocean. That will be a huge strategic location. And that's how the modern day the Grey Kingdom, the city, came to be, so to speak. So that's my take on, and then all the stories we know from the game and all of that are in there. But that's my take on, and Hardby is much, much older. And then eventually, during the era, Greyhawk came to overshadow and dominate and eventually kind of control Hardby, so to speak. So
yeah, you have, because I use your 576 map, and you have so much more. I'm looking around, I'm seeing you have so much more in
my
your
campaign.
campaign.
I've built stuff and added a lot of stuff there for like, okay, this is the way I want this area to be. So I've added stuff and corrected and worked on things here. So yeah.
You know what I really like too is where you kind of put in all the different tribes. They're I mean, just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, what is this symbol right here?
Yeah, Joe Block's his and now I can see that. Damn, I have an update to that on one map, so I need to fix that on my. You see, my campaign map is old. So anyway, Joe Block wrote an article, "See Pommage and Die," and that's where these tribes are from. And I also was given some background material that was not in that article that was written for Pommage for another follow-up article that was never published in Dragon Magazine. I think some of that detail is on that.
I can't remember in your 576 map that you have. Do you have all the orc tribes on that? I think you do. You have most of them on there.
Oh yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think there were one or two that I forgot that I've added, and there's now a GIS version of the map that is even newer in some instances. This is my campaign map, so it's kind of just wanted to. So there's some things that I've updated on the official map that I've forgotten to add to this one. So
it's really cool to kind of flesh out the different tribes.
So I'm going to add some stuff.
Oh, and you even have the Flins in here too. Flins have been big in my camping because they're in the Pommage right now. But wow, they're you have them a lot more west. East of from where. But it makes sense though, because they're traveling from Highport down the Slave Road to where they're actually stationed at, which is right here. That's interesting. I like that. That actually fits in really well with what I've been proposing on my campaign. That's interesting.
And now I need to realize I should export out my my map from QGIS because that is the latest version. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you just put it on there. You put it on there right now.
I will publish that in a couple of days or something. So I need
got it. Got it.
Version. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking at this and comparing it to the map that I use for 576 from you, and I do see a lot more things on there, a lot more different things you pinpointed. You know what I mean? Like even over here, Well, where are you guys at on your campaign right now? Like, where
I'm
is?
in go to Cryptwall in the Shield Lands because that's where we are.
Okay, you're in the Shield Lands. Okay,
Yep.
got it. Got it. Yeah, God, it's funny looking at this. You don't realize how big the near dive is. It's huge.
Yep.
It's huge. It's huge. And I think if I'm not mistaken, Jay is in Ernst, right?
Usually
Or is he
down
in
in
Orbit?
Altamira, down in south of Celine, with the Wild Coast, and exactly the Ulek. But in my
Yeah, he's
campaign, that is Kingdom of Ulek, and Celine is bigger. So there's been political change there. So yeah, and this is me gearing up for my Elven campaign. So I'm planning ahead, a couple of years ahead, so to speak. So yeah.
The Hornlands Empire. I like that font you use for the Empire.
Oh yeah, I tried to play around with it. There are many, a bit too many fonts and stuff in there. So yeah.
Yeah. Let me see here. I want to bring up that other map that you. I'm gonna stop this share here, and I'm gonna bring up the other map that you showed me earlier, and let's talk a little bit about this one too. Which one do you want to bring up? You want to bring the
text, yeah, not the
text
climate one.
Okay.
Yeah, take the one.
I really like it. I think this is very interesting that you.
That's my take on the.
Yeah, this is on Patreon, right?
Oh yeah, all these they're available on my website and their Patreon posts and stuff. So you can search.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring this up real quick. Let me talk a little bit about this. Let's see if we can bring that. Okay, and I will put us on the side again. Not that way. Let's do this. All right, there we go. You're on the top. I'm on the bottom, and here's your Patreon map here. Let me see if I can bring that in a little bit. Yeah, it really zooms in pretty well too. I like that, how you kind of show the ice caps and
and then I made a climate version of the map as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
So you have the upper part there is northern. Let's see, that's North Summer.
This is the North Pole right here.
Summer. Yeah. So on one side is winter and the other side is summer. So that's North Pole, and that is, I think that's summer in the north. Yeah. And on the east, on the right side of that one is winter.
Let me bring this in so I can get a better pic. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your North Pole.
And South Pole, and then it's winter in the south on that side. But on the other side of you have the opposite: winter in the north and southern. So that's
so this side over here is the winter.
The top one is northern summer and southern winter, and the bottom one is the opposite. And then on the right side there is northern winter, and then the one below it is southern summer. Yep.
Got it. Okay, so the bottom ones are summer. Okay, got it.
That is the Oh, it depends on if it's northern and southern poles. So yeah.
Okay. And then that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really like that. Gives you a really great idea. So what we're looking at here is your north winter, and then your okay. God, you got super technical with this. It's crazy. I see how
I tried to make a model of the planet. So yep.
Yeah. And here's that's really cool. And then I'm going to go to the next one. Let me see if I can bring this up without screwing stuff up. I like what you did here too. Your climate zone.
That's climate. And this is there's a little bit of backstory for this map, because during COVID, I had an idea. I started working on making a model of the planet. And I started because I wanted to, when I started using QGIS and GIS as geographical information systems, that technology, I needed to know where the Flanese was. So I needed to have a base idea of the model of the planet. So I started doing that. And then I was like, this is fun. So I did a better model of the planet. And then COVID came around. And I have a friend of mine, she's a professor back in Sweden, doctor in oceanography and climate science. And so she was sitting at home locked up like everybody. She was working in England at the time, and I think it was England, yeah. And she was locked up and not allowed to leave her home. So she working from home, locked up with the kid, and had nowhere to go. So we chat quite a bit. And she said, "What are you working on?" "I'm working on this model of a fantasy planet." And she was like, "Oh, that's cool." And so we started this. So I gave her the sketch, and we had a go around. And all of a sudden, I had a Zoom call with like 10 people who were doctors and scientists and professors in climatology, ocean science, and meteorology, and all that stuff. So we worked for like 10, 12 hours of fun get-togethers and with pizza and whatever, and Zoom calls, because that's what you do when there's pandemic and you're not allowed to go anywhere. So people wanted some fun to do. So we did that. And so I got some cool help with that one. And it turned out fun. We had a lot of fun doing it. And was a good start. It's definitely not the definitive model of climate on the planet, but it was a good first take, and it gave me a first good insight in GIS and stuff. That is almost 10. Well,
it's amazing, and that's what I really dig about the whole subject of nerding out on Greyhawk, because you can, this book right here, that's the folio, that this guy right here that started it out, and then people just started doing Dragon Magazine. This little thing right here gave us enough to just pique everybody's interest, and now we got people like you that are technical GIS stuff.
Oh yeah, I try to use real world cartography tools.
Yeah, I know.
So I treat Greyhawk as a real world, so to speak, when I make photography.
Yeah. To a lot of us, it is. I mean, it's so crazy. And there's a history. There's a pantheon of God. Well, several. And there's cultures, and there's migrations, and there's catastrophic events, and there's real politics. You know what I mean? It's just so cool. It's so cool. So cool. Wow. Well, I do want to say we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. I know that you and I could go forever. I got to get some food, but I do want to say it's really cool that I wanted to kind of dive into your campaign and kind of pick your brain and learn a little bit more.
We should,
and also your system.
Campaign building, adventure building, rules, and all that stuff more.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. I do reserve the right, and I know you'll always say yes. But I want to get you back on here. We'll dive deeper into some other stuff.
Month or so, and I can pop on again. Yeah, I'd love to.
Yes. But anyways, you guys, I'm gonna bring up Anna's. I'm gonna bring up her Patreon one more time here. Definitely check out her Patreon site. And all the stuff she has on there is free for you to use. Free to check out, free to nerd out on. But if you're using her stuff, go on there and pop her a couple bucks a month, become a member, and you'll have some early access with a lot of things, and just let's show her some support for all the great work you've done. I don't even know what the numbers would be of how many DMs use your maps. For
when I campaign. I have the statistic on my website, and when I put up something new, I usually get between 6,000 and 8,000 downloads almost immediately. So I would say there's about 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, between 5,000 and 6,000, 7,000 people who regularly follow my stuff, so to speak. And those seems to be the visitor numbers that are kind of, I usually get. Of course, there are people download multiple times and stuff, but so my guess is probably around 5,000 people. I used to have a
That's
Facebook group
really,
when I was on Facebook that had about 5,000-6,000 people members, and they were active. And back in when Facebook was really cool, and I was around there, so I had that, and I have about 1,500 people that follow me or active on support me on Patreon. So my guess is that about 5,000 people are regularly aware a little bit of what I do and use my maps at least occasionally, or have used, so or
yeah,
are recurring users, so to speak. So yeah,
wow.
that's my guess. And my guess is that it's probably about between 10 and 20,000 people who play Greyhawk or follow the setting or active fans of the setting in the world, is my guess.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty accurate number. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there, because I don't think I've got everybody. At least I think I have half of Greyhawk fans are probably aware of my maps and use them.
Yeah.
At least take a peek and see if it's something they're interested in or not, so to speak. Yeah.
And there's because I get comments every day, or I see them, or on Reddit or different forums or stuff, where there's a whole slew of new generation, I guess, if that's what you want to call it,
Yeah.
of people coming into the world of Greyhawk, which is
Yeah,
really exciting.
Yeah, and it's interesting because 5e on Reddit, there is a ghost of Saltmarsh Reddit.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I don't know, I follow, I'm not active on Reddit, but I follow it because I'm kind of curious, because it's a great way to stay on top of a topic. And it's interesting because there's a Greyhawk subreddit, and there is a Ghost of Saltmarsh subreddit. There's some overlap, but there is a huge percentage of the Saltmarsh subreddit of people on there. For them, Saltmarsh is its own setting. A lot of them barely seems to understand that Saltmarsh was just one tiny little place in a much bigger world.
Yeah, just a little blip on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you came in during the 5e wave, so to speak, and you bought the Ghost of Saltmarsh and think, oh, this is a cool little place, there's some adventures and stuff. I think Greyhawk is mentioned in there, and even Ayus is mentioned, but it's its own little self-contained subsetting in a way. And that is typical 5e. Yeah.
I know the old TSR modules of Secret of Saltmarsh, but I haven't cracked open the 5e one. But that'd be interesting to see if
it's a remake. The 5e remake of that module, and a bunch of Dragon articles about about sea and ship combat and stuff like that. And so it was a 5e kind of mishmash.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I don't remember if it was during the 5.5 era or the 5.0. I think it was the 5.0 era, which would be interesting if they even mentioned.
5e era. Yeah, not the 5.5.
That'd be interesting to find out. I'll have to look and see if they mention it in there, because a lot of people that were playing 5e that just started in 5e probably don't know what Greyhawk was until that DMG came out with the Greyhawk map. For the 5.5.
Oh yeah, that's when we got Greyhawk for real in 5e, in the new 5e era, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's interesting because now there's a whole new generation who discovers Greyhawk, and they have Adventures League, and I was
that's really interesting. Yeah,
I was asked to write a module or an adventure for Adventures League. I had to turn that down, which terrible, but I was hit with the Melps book and all that stuff. So otherwise, it will be a great honor to write it. And I don't know 5e enough, but they could have helped me with that part. And I would love so hopefully I will get a chance in the future to write more stuff.
That'd be kind of cool. So next time you're on, maybe we'll talk a little bit about what you know about Melf too, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So, I know Jay talked enough about it there, so maybe we can talk a little bit here. We'll see what happens. But anyways, you guys, you blipped. Anyways, you guys, I want to thank everybody in the comments, and thank you guys for being here for the last 2 hours. The comments were blowing me away. I couldn't even keep up. But we love having you on here. So thank you so much for coming. And I'll see you Sunday night on Lord Summer's Twitch.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be there for is for Legends and Lore. So, all right, you guys. Well, I'm going to sign off. You guys take care. Thank you again, Anna, and I love you guys.
Bye, everybody.
And we'll see you guys soon. We have just a little bit about the channel. I just recorded 3 videos today that I'll be releasing. One of them is the Weird Gear Chronicles continuation, and another new series I'm starting. And then you guys will see me Saturday night. I'll be at the Firehouse, but we will have a show, and I'll have some guests on, and we'll talk some D&D. All right, you guys, take care. Take care. Anna, stay on for a second, and I'll chat with you. But take care.